Welcome back to the 80s Cinema Club, or welcome to any new viewers. Listeners, I've already screwed this up. This is episode 33, where we look at The Shining. No. That was the worst. It's the last one, and it was the worst one.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of our brand to get progressively less as we go through.
Yes, this we'll be reviewing The Shining from 1980. Alfie has all your information.
Well, I mean, don't ask me any questions. I couldn't tell you anything. But the starring list for this film is as follows. We've got Jack Nicholson playing Jack Torrance, Shelley Duvall as Wendy Torrance, Danny Lloyd as Danny Torrance. Both the male characters have the same name. Interesting. And then probably my favourite name I think we've had for a while, Scatman Crothers as Dick Halloran. I mean, even his real name and character name is pretty great. So, plot summary is a bit of a long one, but it is as follows. After landing a job as an off-season caretaker of the Overlook Hotel, Jack Torrance, an aspiring author and recovering alcoholic, drags his wife Wendy and son Danny to the snow-covered and secluded hotel. But writer's block prevents Jack from pursuing a new writing career. Everything has its time, but first the manager must give Jack a grand tour. Then Mr. Halloran, the facility's aging chef, chats with Danny about rare psychic gifts. The mysterious employee also warns the boy about the cavernous hotel's abandoned rooms, and more specifically room 237, which is off limits. That's all very well, but Jack is gradually losing his mind. After all, strange occurrences and blood-chilling visions have trapped the family in a silent gargantuan prison hammered by endless snowstorms. And now, ghostly apparitions demand Jack to correct his family.
Whoa, no way.
Wow. It is a film as well, if we hadn't realised.
Adapted from a book by Stephen King.
Who hates the film?
Who hates the film?
He's very picky, to be fair.
Even though it's seen as one of the greatest horror films.
Yeah, I think someone rated it's on the 75th
best film
of all time, and it's preserved in an archive in the US voted by Congress because it's one.
Oh yeah, it's like the
for culture.
thingy of art and culture.
Yeah. So had a budget of 19 million. How much do you reckon it made?
I don't think it made that much because it tends to be the successful films don't make much money.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go 30 million.
47 million, which is
It's not
funny
too
given Killer Clowns made slightly
43
less than
million,
this,
but on a lot less budget. So,
which is pretty ironic.
but that you tend to get that, which is
Yeah.
weird.
Well, it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd never seen this before. I mean,
Neither
I haven't seen a lot of these horror films we've done, but this is one I think I was most looking forward to
Same with me, actually. Yeah.
because I actually thought this was gonna be good. Before I watched it, I was like, the rest of I thought were like, oh, these look like silly films or
Yeah.
something like that, and this one I was like, this
could be.
this
good.
better be good.
Yeah. Dislikes and
Likes.
that doesn't mean switching them around though. We're still just gonna carry on with likes and dislikes. Just felt like switching up a bit.
Yeah.
Right then.
So
I'm really lost because like we were just talking about before we start the segment, is that it's really hard with these sort of films where you're actually enjoying watching it to then think about writing things down. So I've got very few notes. But
yeah,
in general,
I was kind of similar. I think I've written down a lot of obvious things, but I think it's because
yeah.
the film was genuinely good
Mhm.
that
it's
it was like I wanted to watch it, and sometimes like I put my phone, and then sometimes I couldn't think notes. Because I was like, it is just good. Like, how can I just say it's good?
yeah. It's really hard, isn't it? I think one of the first things is probably the acting throughout most of it, in that I feel like each, especially Jack and Shelley, both kind of portrayed their characters pretty well. Especially Jackie had that weird feeling going into it already that he seemed a little bit off, which I think kind of fits the character he's supposed to be playing.
Well, yeah. Well, I think whatever he did, he was like, I don't know if they could have got anyone else better to do it. Like,
he was.
I mean, obviously you could say that about anything,
Yeah.
but he played it so well.
He really did.
Jack Nicholson playing Jack.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
I kept doubting myself, thinking that's not Jack Nicholson, is it? That's not his name because the character was called.
Yeah. And then you got Danny playing Danny as well. Obviously, we can't really talk about the kid. To be fair, the kid's acting in the scenes he was in wasn't bad, given that he's
But he mainly rode
3.
around on his trike for a bit. And,
mainly rolled around the
you
track
know.
and talked to his ring finger.
Was it Tony?
Tony, I think it was his pinky finger. Cause he did like a weird,
Kill them now.
like a
He didn't say
weird
that. But
crouchy thing.
that's kind of what it.
No, he was a pretty creepy kid, to be fair.
Right. Okay. So the music.
Yeah.
The very like the first. You have pretty sure you hear the music before you see the scene. Like, and it just. There's no build up. It's instantly. Dun, 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 dun. It's like, whoa. I have been hit by this. Like,
That's some great acapella.
I have been hit by this, and it's very sinister and like sets the tone instantly, because nobody, like, okay, most people may have read the books, and I have not read the book for this, but you have no idea, I guess, what this film is going to be.
No.
And the first thing you get is these absolute beautiful shots.
It's like a nature documentary, isn't it?
That's exactly what I thought. I thought, when's David Attenborough gonna start?
I did the exact same thing.
When's he gonna be like, and now Jack is driving down the road as he comes across the new evergreen trees. It's like, what?
Here we see the car driving past the beautiful lakeside vista of the Colorado mountains.
And let's just wait as the music deafens.
Dun dun!
Like, it's good. Like,
it is really good.
I was like, I actually want to know how they got them as well.
Given this is 1980 as well.
Because obviously now when you watch that, you're like, oh, it's a drone shot.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because obviously, but it can't have been a crane shot.
It must have been helicopter shots.
But it must have been either a helicopter, because that's from, I guess, that money then. Helicopter maybe, yeah.
How were the landscape shots? I'm doing some live research. Made for the Shining.
We don't do this before the episode. We do this
how do you get the aerial shots?
Episode. So Alfie can figure it out. I'm gonna keep talking. Hopefully this is interesting for you.
Helicopter,
okay.
because he didn't like flying in airplanes. Stanley Kubrick.
Well, I don't know if they'd have been able to get it with an airplane.
It would
only
really
because they're very hovery.
Yeah.
Like a drone shot, which is like a helicopter shot then, is like you can go up and down.
Yeah.
In a plane, you can only go forward. You have to keep going forward.
Essentially, yeah.
Like you can go up, but you're going forward at the same time. So I don't know if it would have got the same.
I don't think it would have quite achieved the same.
But that's
spectacle.
What me and Alfie said was this. We both, so it's free on BBC iPlayer at the moment. It looks so good, and I don't mean just like. I don't mean the shots, like as in the way the shots are done, or like the type of shots they are. I mean, it genuinely, the quality of the film looks amazing.
I mean, it might.
And we don't know if this is because it's like a remastered version or something, which could,
it's
like,
possible.
I'm assuming when it was released on VHS originally, it was pretty grainy.
It wasn't like 1080p HD.
It wasn't perfect, but. I do think, like, because even when you remaster films now, they don't still come out great.
Yeah, not always.
But this was,
it
was looked amazing.
It was really impressive.
It was really impressive. So I've said the opening shots and the nature look good. I like, this is just kind of personal thing. I like films with chapters, or like, in a way,
breaking
kind
up
of chapters. So
like title cards.
They're not, because the first thing it says, it's the interview.
Yeah.
And I think then it's like, the closing day, and then there's the ones like Saturday, Tuesday, 4 p.m, things like that. And I know Tarantino does it quite a bit in his films. Like he splits it up.
Good old QT.
I've forgotten the word. It's a straightforward narrative. It doesn't
linear
narrative. That's it. It's a linear narrative. It doesn't stray off at any point. But I
which
like
is quite nice.
how I don't know why. It's a very small thing that makes me, I guess, think that it's more artistic. Yeah,
it's a very stylistic choice, but it, like you say, it kind of, that and coupled with the fact the entire thing takes place in that one location, it does have a very streamlined feel to it.
Yeah, it's a way, I think, to try and show times going past when it's in one place.
Yeah.
So they're not moving anywhere. Like in some films, you'll have them driving places and it'll turn night, but in this, they're in the same place.
Yeah, literally.
So if you didn't tell me that it was a month later, you just think it was like the next night.
Literally.
Or,
Or it could be any sort of period within however long they're supposed to be there.
Yeah, exactly. So like when they said, though, I think it all took place though only after a month.
Yeah.
It says 1 month later and then it starts going into the days.
Maybe like a week.
Yeah.
After that, I think. So it's a very, well, obviously quite a long time span, but we don't see very much of it. But it doesn't feel like too much is left out, or it's very confusing.
Yeah, there's no. I think because of how it's because of how it's done. So obviously in a book you'll be able to go to the next chapter and they'll be able to say a month later Jack was blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But in a film you can't do that without showing it. But I think just the plain white text on the black background really kind of just showed that it was a very simple film, but trying to accomplish quite a bit at the same time.
It was very artistic as well, I think, throughout most of it.
Oh yeah.
There's something else I was going to say, actually, I can't remember. Oh yeah, I like how the intervals of the title cards get closer and closer after that month. Obviously, showing the fact that Jack's kind of losing it even more so. Because first month, it's obviously the month happens. Then after that, it gets smaller and smaller intervals between the days.
Yeah. Because it is cool. The interview closing day.
A month.
1 month later. I think it's Saturday, Wednesday, or Wednesday or Tuesday. Yeah. And then it's like 4 p.m.
It gets really short.
It's trying to show that, like, I guess it's a timer. So when you think like kind of decades, years, month, days, hours, minutes, like, kind of that kind of thing. It doesn't go down to seconds, but the countdown.
1 second later.
1 second later. Oh, he's doing the same thing.
Imagine that.
1 second later.
1 second later. 1 step. 1 second later. Another step. Swaggering with that axe through the maze.
The characters, not just how they're played, but I really like, I've forgotten his name, the guy who has the cool name.
Dick Halloran.
Yeah, his character, I think he's a bit creepy, but I guess it's because he has the shine. The Shining. Oh, name drop. But I think he's played very well. Like, he has actually a full, like, it's got to be like at least like a 2-3 minute monologue as a kid of what it is, like what the Shining is and stuff like that, and it's a very long conversation that he has while the kid's just sat there eating ice cream.
Sat there. And the interesting thing is that that's then not made the focus of it, which you don't know whether it might be different in the book.
I know that's the only thing when I don't when you watch a film that's adapted from a book, but the book is extremely popular.
Yeah.
It's okay. So the Twilight books are really popular, right?
That's true. Never read them.
But watching the Twilight films, it's not like they didn't have like an impact. Well, they did in a way, like on society as a whole. Like, they were very teenage.
All right. Okay.
Although I guess they changed the vampire genre for quite a while, it was very much like The Shining, 1980, massive horror film. It was pretty much made it for some like Stanley Kubrick stuff. Critically raved about, things like that, and the author hated it. Yeah. Which kind of shows that the book must be different.
It must be somehow. I mean, maybe I'll try to figure something out for later in the episode.
So the long conversation about Shining. And then I'll go on to some of like the practical effects, which there isn't many.
But when they are done.
So the visions the boy has, Danny has, all obviously usually have some sort of... Well, the first one, like the big one he has really is like the two girls.
Yep.
And he sees them, and his brain keeps flicking in between them, and then their chopped up bodies on the floor with blood all over the walls. And I'm like,
okay,
right. And then there's the lift or elevator, gushing blood coming out, and I can only assume that was shot like in a tank or like they put a wall up somewhere.
You would hope, yeah,
because it was all like because obviously it shows you it filling up. So it must have been like which I thought it's really good. It's really cool.
I'd read a lot about that actually. I think from what I'd seen, that actually only took them 3 takes to do.
Well,
even with how finicky Stanley Kubrick was, but again, I think it all specified that it took 9 days to set up that shot every time they needed to repeat it.
Oh yeah, because
how big it
they're
is.
Filling a set with probably a screen in front of it with
really
liters and gallons of red water. Probably I don't know.
Yeah, you would assume.
I don't know what they did to put in this lift that they're going to open.
But I mean, it served as a really good sort of.
I also said the rotting woman in the bath for the good special effects or the good practical effects. Yeah. Pretty interesting scene to watch with your mother, like I did. But just
right, yeah, I can imagine actually.
Like they looked good, like the rotting, like when
the rotting aspect of
when it shows to you that this isn't a young like woman, and it's actually like the wife, I'm assuming, who got
who
died,
who
had been left in the bath to rot.
however long ago.
You know, it's disgusting, which wants you to show,
Oh, God,
and
yeah.
it definitely does its job.
It is pretty far, actually.
I kept talking about the music later on. So we talked about the music at the beginning, kind of kicks in straight away. But the music later is extremely loud still. But it adds to the frightening aspect of the film, I guess. And more the psychological side, because this is very much a psychological horror.
Yeah.
It's not jump scares. No. It's not like... I mean, obviously there's gore in it, but it's not like, oh my God, I've chopped this guy's hand off, look at how gruesome it is.
Yeah, it's not the main spectacle.
It's very much like those girls when you see them dead, which is awful because, well, it's always more awful seeing children dead when in films like that. It's harder hitting. Yeah. And especially the way it shows them, they're just on the floor, like you see the blood on them, and like it's very... That's horrifying in its own way. Like
horror film.
Yeah, you don't need to see how it happened. You just need your brain to imagine
to fill it in.
Why that would have. And personally, I prefer that. Like if I'm gonna watch a film just for some like good fun, I'll always go to like a slasher film because they are the ones where
that sounds so psychopathic.
No, right, no. So
if I want to watch a film for some good fun, I'll watch a bunch of people get murdered.
Right, no, I mean like, if I want to watch a horror film. For just like
kill value,
I guess, like for it to look cool, like because to appreciate the work and effects that have gone into it, I'll watch that because it's something where they show everything or everything they can,
exactly.
But The Shining, it's when you want to watch a film that you're going to enjoy, but you're gonna it's going to be an experience.
It definitely is an experience.
It's going to be something you're going to watch and think, that was great, or that was like something. There's nothing like it, and that's what I think The Shining kind of is.
Yeah, totally unique. That's what I was trying to say.
The artistic side, which was weird, which was good, and by the same time was the zoom ins you got at some point.
Yeah,
so it was the zoom ins on red rum, and then the mum's eyes and stuff, and I always thought. It was weird where they used them because it felt like it was yes, it shouldn't be overused, but then I don't know, it felt like it was used on some bits, and then some bits where you expected it to work wasn't there, and then it did it again, and it was still good. I thought it did show the emotion that was kind of running through the Wendy, I think her name is, was it Wendy? Wendy at that point, like it zoomed in her eyes, like whoa, okay.
Yeah, it was.
What are you doing?
They were pretty stark at some points. There was a few of Danny as well where it just zoomed on his face really suddenly. Yeah. Which I guess, it's nothing too bad, but it was just a bit of a strange choice, I think. I had some other thought I was going to mention as well. Oh, yeah. I'd picked up on this after, when watching it, and then actually seeing someone else mention it after, is the amount of times that Jack makes eye contact with the camera.
Yeah, he does.
He does it lots and lots,
but I think
it'll change. So at the start, it's like, it'll be either be like a linger, like essentially a look across the camera and stop for a second. But then towards the end, it becomes a more determined look at the camera.
But I think it's to do with that. He obviously doesn't know he's in a film.
Yeah.
He's more looking at something in the hotel. Like he's looking at the hotel for like encouragement, I think.
Yeah. That's actually a good way of thinking.
The hotel itself is haunted.
Yeah. He sells his
with
soul
like
to
Grady, the last caretaker, and many other people in that ball.
The barman as well.
The barman who was proper cool actually. Like
that was pretty funny. Actually. He used to appears out of nowhere.
Yeah. But that's what it is. I think when he looks in the camera, it's kind of like that's when he's in his head about like him going crazy.
Yeah.
It's like he's looking at the camera, and it's like he's looking at the spirits, I guess, or like
the person as well.
Yeah, it's like he's looking for encouragement from the hotel itself and everything in it. But the way to convey that is to look at us because we're not there, and the other people aren't there either.
It also acts as like a thing to sort of bring the audience in because this guy's gone completely insane and is staring directly.
Yeah, he's currently like axe chopping down his family's room, and
and then he just stares at you through the camera. I
also just said the ending, and I mean the very end when you see Jack in the photo.
That was really cool
because doesn't tell you how he got there, doesn't tell you why. You just have to be like, that's really creepy. This hotel is haunted. This he went in. This is and then you got to think about it yourself.
Then it just ends.
You know,
it's
it
a nice
doesn't.
way to end it.
It doesn't like have to go. Yeah, it's not like it showed you the picture. It's in 1921, and then somebody walks in, turns it over, and is like, "Oh, look at this person in the picture." You know, it just ends.
Who's that in the middle? And it's Jack's face right there.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it at first. When it started zooming in.
Oh, really?
When it started zooming in, I was assuming I was supposed to be looking at someone that
right.
wasn't supposed to be there. But until it showed him specifically, I couldn't see it. I was like, what? Like, I'm assuming, in my head, I was like, are you trying to show me Jack? Is Jack in this picture?
Yeah.
But I couldn't see him.
That's fair, actually.
I don't have many of the likes, except I genuinely just thought it was good.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really, again, like I said, it's hard to comment on a film that you just genuinely enjoyed watching, so you kind of forgot to think about it.
Yeah.
In a sort of analytical way. And to be fair, even in terms of dislikes, I can't think of...
I have some dislikes.
All right, then.
Is that all your likes, do you think?
That's all my likes gone. Yeah.
So my dislikes, there is a few, like, big ones, really, I guess. Wendy doesn't really take it as a red flag that he explicitly admits to her that he dreamt of murdering her.
Yeah, that's
right. And I know.
that's
okay, let's
true.
just put it out there. Right, you can't technically control what goes on in your dreams in like a certain way.
Yeah.
But if your husband has a dream about murdering you and your child,
it says it as if it's nothing.
It says it as nothing. It's not. It's not like that dream where you're like, oh God, I had a dream I was cheating on you and you feel really guilty or whatever, something like that. It's, I dreamt of murdering you extremely like
chopping you up into small bits.
He says chopping you, and she's just like, oh well, it was only a dream.
I think that's part of her character as well, to be fair, because she's quite a strange
here's
person.
Another one. Wendy says a crazy woman tried to strangle Danny.
Yep.
But she leaves him alone in their room, even though she knows there's someone else in the hotel.
Yeah, she's not bothered.
Okay, there's definitely a lot of room between their apartment and room 237.
Yeah.
But
still,
you said they were a crazy woman. They could have instantly left that room, tracked down your son.
Yeah, that definitely
no,
is quite an interesting point.
It would have been safer for you to take your son with you.
Oh, 100% would have been.
You know, just another thing. And I know the chef, the head chef, whatever his name was.
Dick Holland.
He has the shine. He has the shining. And he can see that something's about to go on at the hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Why does he go? And then when he gets there, why is he walking and goes, hello? Anybody home? When he knows that something's wrong is happening.
Yeah, that was a bit of a dumb point. I can't believe he... I mean, to be fair, I liked him as a character.
Like, because he just dies straight away.
Yeah, he just
like, I guess the kill is kind of cool, but, like, what...
At the same time.
I don't... Like, he's going to try help them.
Yeah, a guy who looked like he might have actually been there to help him could have actually done something.
Yeah,
just
but why? Like, I don't... His visions he's seen is of the blood, is of Danny, like, screaming.
Yeah,
is of things like that, but he just decides to walk in like nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't...
That's a good point, actually.
I don't
What
know.
a weird thing to do.
Other things... So, apparently, one of the main reasons that Stephen King, as I said, I haven't read the book, doesn't like the film, is that Jack seems crazy from the start. I don't think Stephen King intended it, like, in the book, I don't think he's written that way.
He wanted,
I think it is more of a gradual thing. Right. And I think, even without being influenced by that, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I can kind of get that too.
Because the hotel, I guess, is supposed to affect him and make him go crazy. Like the guy who he's having the interview with talks to him about it, and he says, "Oh, you know, get stir crazy," like kind of foreshadowing.
Sort of thing,
but Jack looks mental
does,
as he's doing that.
Which I guess in the first
it's Jack
part of the film,
Nicholson's performance, which is amazing, but not much tips him over the edge.
No,
because he already seems to hate his wife for some reason.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
It's like also the non-explanation of Tony, like the imaginary friend inside his voice, inside his head. His mum's just totally fine with it. Like, oh, what does Tony think? Like, from
and he talks in a really creepy voice as well, doesn't he?
Like I totally get why he has it, I guess, but it's not explained. And I know, like, The Shining is explained to us very early on. And I think in my head I'm kind of split on whether I thought that should have been a mystery or whether it should have been explained like that. I don't know. I think it's fine how it is, but it does seem a bit blunt.
It's a bit so-so, isn't it? I think there could have been probably a better way of doing it, even just leaving it for sort of like Dick Halloran mention it in passing, and
Yeah.
then, but not like actually defining it, and then him seeing the little girls who were dead already, and that could kind of fill it in for the audience.
Yeah, like I said, this doesn't really like all of these dislikes don't really take away that much.
No.
Only because what the final product is still really good.
Yeah, it's very minor things.
Oh, there's not really like a dislike that when Jack freezes to death, and he's got
Yeah.
something on. I've seen that photo so many times in memes and stuff,
Have you?
and did not know where it was from. But
I didn't even realise
I
that.
don't. Yeah, I was like, oh my god, that's where that's from. At the end.
Oh, and then obviously the iconic "Here's Johnny" as well. Obviously not a dislike,
yes.
but
Here's Johnny. Just that woman trying to get out the window as well was so painful.
that was so yeah. I was like, obviously you're not gonna fit getting out through that wide try. Like she figures it out herself, right? I'm not gonna fit through that, and then a second later it's like, you know, I'll give it a go, and tries to go through.
I guess the logic. I know Jack's gone crazy, right?
Yeah.
But his wife has a knife, right? She's cut his hand.
Yep.
But he could definitely easily still knock that door down and just
Yeah,
go
100%.
ham on her. But he hears someone shouting in the hotel, so oh no, I have to leave.
God, thank God he'd gone crazy by that point.
You know, he wasn't sane enough to finish the job first of killing his wife, and then
He wasn't sane enough to finish killing his wife. God damn it, man.
the thing about the end, it's not a happy ending. Well, it is. Well, it is actually.
It isn't as well.
It is because the hotel, nothing happens to the hotel. The hotel is still like haunted and it's still creepy and there's definitely something going on there. But the mum and the son still get away,
Yeah, they do, don't they? The take,
which I thought was kind of anticlimactic for the fact that he's been running around trying to kill them.
Yeah,
I thought he'd have at least done some damage. You know what I mean?
taking the son's arm off.
Yeah. Well, even the wife just even just hit her once, I don't know, and she's like falling through the snow, trying to get to the snowplow, and he's like, I
love the idea that you're sat watching the film going, hit her. Come on, man.
That was me chanting
One
on
solid
Jack.
punch.
In that snow, I was like, why? You haven't finished the job yet.
You haven't killed your son and wife within the last 20 minutes.
You haven't corrected them.
Get on it. You haven't corrected them. As I forget his name, the other guy who killed his family.
Yeah, Brady, I think it was.
So yeah, something Brady.
No, Grady.
Tom Grady.
God.
He's a baseball player, I think.
We ready for ratings then?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
So Alfie, what did you rate The Shining from 1980?
I can't even do my normal spiel of sort of explaining my rating because, again, like I said, it was a good film. I enjoyed it. I think it was shot really well. So I've given it an 8.5, which I think
8.
might be the highest I've given till now. Yes, I think the special episode released in November, we filmed in advance. That's
Oh, please no! You must have given like Stand By Me or something like
Stand
that.
By Me, I think, given 8.
What did you give Back to the Future?
Oh, that's a good question.
And that would be
That
an
might have
8.5.
gotten an 8 as well.
Yeah, okay.
Might have been 8.5.
Okay, so I have given this film an 8.
Oh, nice.
So we come out with an 8.3. Like
Pretty
I said,
solid.
it is just a really good film.
Yeah,
But I think
totally.
some of the drawbacks, like him just not seeming like, I feel like it's supposed to show him gradually getting
Mm-hmm.
crazier, but I just feel like he already hated everything.
Yeah, it's like him going from unhinged to more unhinged.
Yeah, it's not like, I feel like it should have been him going from like, he could have been like a damaged adult, I
Yeah.
guess, but kind of sane.
Yeah, if it went
And
from
then
like a family
and then
man.
get corrupted by what he sees in the hotel. You
I
know, he
think-
goes to the bar and he's like, "Whoa!" He's like, he is going crazy.
Yeah.
And he sees other people, and then the bartender starts talking to him, and then he's like, "Oh, you need to correct them and stuff like that."
Yeah, I mean, if there was definitely that,
I feel like it's good and one of my favorite horror films then, but it could have been slightly better with some things. But that's it, really.
Trivia.
Okay. You got this. Trivia questions. Trivia
Questions.
That
Trivia.
doesn't sound as right. Okay. Right.
Do you want to do your questions?
Yes, I will.
I'm not meant you're going to go questions.
Oh,
but-
sorry. Questions. I'm gonna keep all that in.
Yeah. I mean, may as well, you know.
Right.
Peek
I'll
behind
go
the curtain.
first then. Question 1, Alfie.
Yep.
What colours are on the carpet outside room 237?
Oh shit. Oh man, Because Danny plays outside it, doesn't he?
And he goes past it a few times.
He does. It's like it's some weird pattern because he lines up the cars and like the ball gets thrown into them. I know there's brown in there for sure, but there's like some weird dot in the middle that's like a different color. I can't think of what color it is. Is it like brown and red?
Sadly, that is incorrect.
Oh,
You're not incorrect. It is red, brown, and orange.
Ah, right.
So enough. There was 3 colours.
Terrible.
Oh no, right.
Right. So we mentioned a little bit about the film having title cards, and obviously there's an order to it for the sake of the narrative. Which was the 4th title card in the film?
Oh. I don't think The Shining was a title card.
No, it's not included.
So it's The Interview.
Yep.
Closing Day.
Yep.
1 month later.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go Saturday. It's not. Don't tell me that's what I'm wrong.
It's wrong.
What is it?
It's The Interview. Closing Day. A month later. Tuesday.
Oh fuck. Is Saturday one of them?
Yeah. So the order is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, 8 a.m., 4 p.m.
Come on.
That's why when you were talking about it earlier, I was like, "Yep." Huh? I didn't want to give any input there and mess up the order.
Christ. I don't like being so close.
You were very close, to be fair, as well.
Right. Second question, Alfie.
Yeah.
Who interviews Jack at the start of the film?
I thought you were going to ask me this shit. It's the guy who runs the place, and I don't know his name. He's got grey slick back hair. He wears glasses. He sits at the desk. Can't even remember his name. What is it?
Stuart Ullman. Yeah. It was on.
I thought it began with a
T. It was on a thingy. What's it? Like a nameplate.
Oh yeah, like a placard.
Desk. Yes.
Edward Rooney.
Yes, literally like Edward. Edward R.
Rooney. That's if anyone remembers that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's going to be like 3 weeks till it releases anyway. Right, so at the start we have good old Dick Halloran giving Danny a tour around and his mum of the kitchens, and he opens up the massive freezer and gives a huge spiel about the sort of...
Oh, you're not going to ask me how many chickens were there, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm going to ask you, how many pounds of hamburgers did the hotel have?
£20.
No, it was £300.
£300?
30 £10 bags of hamburgers.
I know they had like 50 steaks, didn't they?
50 sirloin steaks.
Why do I remember the other ones?
20 legs of lamb. 40 chickens.
I remembered 40 chickens and I remember 50 steaks. Why couldn't you?
There was something else as well. I think it was something other, pork, whatever.
It was lamb and rib and whatever.
Loads of meat.
Right, last question for you, Alfie.
God, we've rattled through these. Yeah?
When did the Overlook finish being built?
Oh. Is it just the year?
Yeah.
Oh, 1909.
Correct.
Nice.
Started
1907.
Finished
ended
1909.
1909.
99.
We're in the future there.
1909.
Right. So, last question for you. This is kind of a tenuous one, but because it's related, you'll figure out in a second, to another film. So we have that really nice, beautiful shot at the start of the car driving through the mountains. And that sequence, or some of it, was reused for another film we've watched before.
Oh.
So that sort of car, it wasn't specifically the aerial shots, it was a shot that was made but not used, was then repurposed and used in a different film we've watched.
But like that scenery.
That scenery, that car.
She's one of those things where I forget. We've watched 30-something films.
We have. It's an early one.
You don't usually get to record how many films. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I guess Letterboxd or whatever it's called now is a thing where people do.
That's true. Yeah.
But like through my life, I haven't had that to write down every film I've watched.
Yeah. So this is a film we did fairly early on in the podcast.
Well, it's not American Werewolf.
That is true.
I
can tell you,
it's not Brazil. It's not Blade Runner. It's not Beautiful Laundrette.
It's definitely not My Beautiful Laundrette.
It couldn't. No, I can't. It could be Dirty Dancing, but I don't think it is. Only because they're in a car, but it's not that car. but they are in a treey area.
That is true.
I doubt it's raised the Titanic.
I will tell you have said the answer so far.
It's got to be Dirty Dancing then. There's got Dirty Dancing. What is it?
Blade Runner.
It's Blade Runner.
You know the really bad ending scene? The happy ending for Blade Runner where they're driving.
Oh, it was that bit. Oh, that's not even canon.
It was canon to Theo's interpretation. As a throwback. But yeah, I think we might have actually even mentioned that in the episode, if I'm not wrong. We mentioned that the scene was...
that is just used to
the camera was pulled from somewhere else. I might have to go back and listen to it.
I can remember that the skyline was based on Teesside, but...
Yeah, we talked about how the fact that last sequence had been ripped from something else. Well then.
Oh well.
Score update so far is 57 to 29 in the 9th.
Guys,
I need to do a question next time that'll give you 7/8 of a point. Or 1 and 1 7/8.
So I can get a point.
You can get 2 points, technically.
Relevance then. How relevant do you think this film is today?
Well, I mean, like we said, it's a really highly acclaimed film.
I think it shaped a lot of things to go on.
Definitely has.
I guess it's very much a psychological horror, but I guess it was edging into the area of like some paranormal things.
Yeah,
so obviously
totally.
it's they're ghosts more like, you know, in a way, which is weird because the only person who sees him for a while is Jack because he's going insane.
Yeah,
and
Danny
and Danny, but then his wife starts seeing him, so it shows you that Jack isn't actually he is insane.
Yeah,
but it's not in his head.
Yeah, he's not the only one, is he?
Yeah, like.
There is something.
The wife sees Brady. I think it's like in the lobby or whatever. She's running and she goes runs into him. You know, so I do think it's definitely shaped. I think it definitely did set the bar for Stephen King adaptations.
Yeah,
because Doctor Sleep, which I think is the sequel.
To this.
Well, it's not, but it is. Like it's the next. Which has a cameo from Danny's actor,
right.
older. It's awful. It's not
Nice
rated
one.
very highly or anything like that. Apparently, I haven't watched it, but apparently it's not very good. And it's like, I know Stephen King doesn't like it, but
I mean, it's a huge
if you've
film,
wrote a book and then somebody makes it their own thing, you're not gonna like it very much. Like the ones he likes the most are the Shawshank Redemption and Stand By Me.
Yeah, because they're practically the exact same as
the
books.
Because they and they were both short stories as well.
Yeah.
So I guess you do have a bit more leniency when you have it all on a plate for you.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
just to do.
A little bit less to adapt.
No, so everything it's definitely shaped, and I mean,
Stanley Kubrick.
people quote "Here's Johnny" without even saying. I have done that.
Yeah, it's pop culture, isn't it?
Like I don't know, been playing a game at some point and like tried to like scare someone and went, "Oh, here's Johnny," and I've never watched the film until yesterday as I'm recording this.
Same. Like I know exactly the scene. Just from saying he is Johnny without seeing the film.
Yeah, I knew when it was coming. I knew what film it was from. Just never watched the film.
It's mad, isn't it?
So yeah, definitely. If you haven't watched this, do. And well done for anyone who's watched it. Congratulations.
Well done.
That's all, folks, for our Halloween specials.
Yep. October's over.
Yes, October is over.
Get your Christmas trees out.
Happy Halloween, because if you're listening to this on Halloween, when
Halloween
we are releasing it, get lots of sweets or candy. Make sure if you are, I don't know if they do it in America because they're very much trick or treat. If you're in England, make sure you sing the rhyme and don't just say trick or treat, because that splits us apart from the rest.
Promote segregation.
No.
Club.
I mean, in America, I'm fairly sure when they're not gonna die, it's trick or treat, and that's it.
What are we supposed to say here?
If you don't sing the rhyme when you get to my house, you're not getting any sweets.
Harry Peden lives that. I was tempted to show.
Do you know the rhyme, Alfie?
Nope.
You don't? Yes, you do.
Nope.
You don't know the Halloween rhyme?
Know. I don't go trick or treating, to be fair.
Have you never gone trick or treating?
Might have been like once when I was a kid, but
no. It's what is it?
Into it.
It's the sky is blue, the grass is green. Have you got a penny for Halloween? If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, then God bless you. That's what you're supposed to sing.
Fantastic.
And then you can say trick or treat after that, but you're supposed to sing the rhyme. This is just my rant now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You should just sing the song, okay? Thanks for listening. To
Just
this
a trick or
episode.
treat, guys.
Thanks
It's so
for
much
listening
easier.
to This episode of The Shining.
Yeah. What else we got?
You will be listening to this on a platform. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible. TuneIn, which we put listens on.
Podbean,
now.
Good Pods.
Podbean, Good Pods, all pretty much everywhere. And if you're listening to this on something and want to listen to this on something else, drop us a message on our socials at 80 Cinema Club, which is on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter /X, TikTok, YouTube. Episodes, Alfie? I haven't looked. I've stopped looking.
I thought I put one up a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think I have.
Yeah, so messages on there. Also messages at email at 80cinemaclub@gmail.com if you want to tell us anything. Please interact with us. It's great to know who's listening.
Nope, I haven't put an episode up since episode 27.
So that's 6 episodes.
But if you go on the 80 Cinema Club Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube to look at the Prince of Darkness shot, I just saw it. You can see Harry Beden's feet for a brief second. That's the YouTube thumbnail for it for some reason.
Right.
Anyway, also if you're on Spotify looking, there'll be a Q&A below the episode to ask. Well, I mean, obviously we can't force you to answer it, but if you guys would want to give a rating for the film, if you've seen it, or even, I don't know, do you want to rate the episode?
Yeah,
Get
that'll
really
be
meta
on.
with it.
That'll be on every week now. Only for Spotify, we think, because it's their feature for the
Spotify
podcasts.
I guess.
Yeah, so leave that. You can give us some thoughts on the film. Give us a rating.
Tell us what we did wrong.
We really want to interact with people who listen to this because it's very interesting. We sit here and we talk to you about a film.
Yeah.
But we kind of want to know if you agree with us, if you disagree, and what you think. Not necessarily you said wrong, but I guess. But what
other points
other points you'd make that we didn't?
Because we had that. We did have interaction on YouTube a while ago from a guy. I think it was on the Goonies episode, wasn't it? That was quite helpful.
Yeah. Because we said something. What did we say wrong? We said like Steven Spielberg, but he said he just
that
wasn't attached to the film, was he?
Well,
it was just
something about the water pipes.
Oh yeah. But stuff like that, like we want people to interact.
That's really valuable.
So, next, so this was releasing on Halloween.
Yeah.
We will be hopefully having an episode coming out on Sunday, which will be on 1984. Coincidentally released in 1984.
It's quite fun.
So good. See you then, and we hope you have a happy Halloween. And the start of November is good.
Not the end.
Not the end.
End can be bad.
It's not the end
I
yet.
don't really care.